This video will show how to start Varac and some of the basic tools that we'll be using here in Whatcom County, such as beacons, broadcast messages, and sending Vmail messages. Now, Varac runs from a folder right on the C drive, and all you need to do is double click on the Varac shortcut. It looks like a couple of back-to-back dialog bubbles. First thing that'll happen is it'll start to run the Vara FM modem. So that'll pop up, and then Varac will start to load. It'll give a warning here that says you don't have frequency control over your radio, and that's okay because we're just going to use fixed frequency dual band radios here in the county. And then the user interface will pop up. Let's start on the left. Over on the left we show the frequency of operation, and once again this exact number doesn't matter, but our county network will run on a single frequency of 144.950 megahertz. To the right of that is the beacon button. Now right now I'm in the midst of sending beacons. If this says send beacons, when you start up your network, becoming part of the network, you'll want to start sending beacons. Hopefully you'll be configured that that'll happen automatically. Beacons are how the network gets formed. To the right of that is the Varac log. Everything that happens in Varac gets written to a log file, so this makes great documentation for our MCOM group. To the right of that is the beacon field. Beacons are call signs and other information sent from all the stations in the net, and they are recorded here as we hear them on our station in this beacon field. You'll see the call sign of the station that beaconed, you'll see when they beaconed, and you'll see the signal to noise ratio of that received signal. So here KC7BJ beaconed. This is their location or their identifier string, and to right of that is the signal to noise ratio. The bigger the number there in decibels, the stronger we're hearing that station. You also see tip tools that pop up. If you hover over almost anything in this interface, it will explain to you what's going on. To the right of that is the CQ field. Well, now this is an MCOM group, so we won't be doing CQs like they do on HF. In the upper right hand corner is the mode of operation. There are three modes: simple, advanced, and MCOM. We'll be using the MCOM mode because of the features that it employs. And down here, this middle field, this middle blue field, is the broadcast field. Any broadcast messages are general short messages that all can see on the network. So if you send a broadcast message or you receive a broadcast message, it will show up here. And that's what we're going to talk about next, is how to send a broadcast message. The next tool we're going to learn about in Varac is broadcast messages. Those messages are sent and received here in this center blue field. Broadcast messages are a great way to send a short message either from net control to all the net members or from a net station to all people in the net. It can be up to 150 characters long, but the shorter the better. So over here in our stack of tools, we're going to learn how to send Vmail messages, and we're going to learn how to send broadcast messages. Now, first of all, let's receive a broadcast message. So if we stand by here, we'll have another station send us a broadcast message over the air. So here we are. This message came from KC7BJ. It's time stamped. It's addressed to all. There's a signal to noise ratio associated with the received message, so we can see how strong we were able to receive that station. And it says, "This is Whatcom Unified, the Tuesday morning net will begin shortly. So, great place for net control to send a message out to everybody involved. For us to send a broadcast message, we go over to this stack of tools, and click on Broadcast, and a dialog box opens up. We can address it to all, that's the default, but you can also address it to a specific station, yet everybody will still see the message broadcast. So here we go to the message field, and we can type in our broadcast message. Here I've typed I-5 is closed at Slater Road. And down at the bottom we can click on broadcast and close, and this will go out over the air when the calling frequency is free. It will broadcast this broadcast message, and you can see in red, you can see which message you just broadcast. That's it. This is a fantastic way to keep in general contact with the entire net. Varac has a lot of capability, a lot of things you can do, but the last one we're going to talk about here is Vmail. Vmail is email from one Varac station to another. So to do that, you go over to the tool buttons here and click Send Vmail. A dialog box will open up, and just like email, there's a to field, which is going to be a station call sign. There's a from field, which is your station, and then you can put in a subject and type in a general message just like email. But what we're going to do is we're going to send an ICS 213 via Vmail. So we're going to go over here to template, and we're going to click on template, and we get a pull down stack, and we're going to select an ICS 213, and you can see it pre-populates the message. We can edit any of this, add or subtract. We can enhance the subject line here. I'll add something to the subject line. Then down through the body of the message, we can put in the incident name. We can address this to an individual. We can put our names on it. And of course, all this is just general edited text, so you can do anything you want with this. We can add a subject line. And we can timestamp it with date and time. Very simple message, not as sophisticated as you find an FL message, but adequate. And then finally, since this is all just text editing, you can say whatever you like in the body of the message here. So when you get this thing all edited, you go down to the bottom here, and we can send. And you'll get a message that says, well, I'll put this in your outbox. You're not connected to anybody right now. And this requires, to send Vmails, it requires a connection to the other station. That's a little bit different than broadcast or beaconing. So we say OK to that. And we go over here to the left, and we find the connect button. And this is going to connect to whoever's call sign is in this field right here. So we can type in this field, the station we're sending to, like WC7HQ, and then we say connect, and Varac will take off and make a connection to that station. Of course, it'll wait until the calling frequency is clear. Then it will negotiate with that station. And you're going to see down here in this lower field, this this stream field, you'll see the message get sent. You'll see the connection made, and then you'll see the body of the message get sent. There we go, there's the body of the message. And if we pull down here, if we scroll down, we will see that the Vmail was delivered successfully. This has all been error checked, and you have now been confirmed that that message was sent. So one thing you have to remember to do, either you or the receiving station has to disconnect from this negotiation. You could send them keyboard messages, you could send them files. As long as you're connected, there's a lot of things you can do. But in a typical Tuesday morning net exchange, you're going to send your ICS 213, and then you're going to disconnect. Don't forget to disconnect. So under the toolbar here, it says Tools. In order to read your email, you pull down here and open up the mailbox, and it's going to remind you of any email you've ever used. There's an inbox, there's a sent box, there's an out box. So double clicking on any of these messages will open them up. You can read them, you can reply to them, you can print them out, and you can also delete them. So all of this works very familiar, just like an email system. And that's the essence of Vmails. Pretty simple, probably the most sophisticated thing we'll do.